would be required to stop by March of next year. A special committee in the state Senate is now looking into the housing issues at Tennessee State University. Lawmakers heard testimony after an audit came out recommending a change in leadership at the university. Among the findings, it said TSU mishandled scholarships, leading to a lack of housing for students at the HBCU. But the university says they've just had more people enrolling in the school. Belmont University is reducing tuition for students getting their master's degree in education. It's an effort to address the teacher shortage. University officials say costs would be reduced by 30% starting this fall. I'm Sarah Bartlett, Tennessee Radio Network News.
I happened to glance up, and the clear sky was gone.
Coast to coast, all night, every night.
All I could see was something round and black.
On WGNS, AM, FM, online. Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Our show brought to you by the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, obviously. MTE has helped provide light, comfort, and connection to our community since 1936. As your trusted energy advisor, MTE is always here to help. Connect online at mte.com or download the My MTE app. It's our pleasure to welcome in Claire Maxwell today. She is Rutherford County School Board member from Zone 5. And Claire, I'm sure that there are a lot of people. Well, good morning, first of all.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'll pull that down just a little bit there in front of you. Zone 5, I'm sure people think when they see your email address, for instance, and it says your signature, Zone 5, maybe 1 out of 10 know what Zone 5 means.
It's confusing. When I decided I wanted to run, I had to look exactly what was Zone 5, and it's kind of shaped like a hand. It's Broad Street all the way up to Dilton Mankin. It's a little bit of Church Street, but only the left side of Church Street near it's Warrior Drive, but it stops at 99, and then you go up South Rutherford, and you go all the way up to Scotland Acres, but you're only on the left-hand side, not the right-hand side. So it's just, I butt right up to Zone 3. Caleb Tidwell is the new Zone 3.
And zones are just county commission districts, multiple districts
I'm
put
aligned
together.
with 3 of my county commissioners, which is Chonto, Alan McAdoo, and Jeff Phillips.
Okay, well, very good. So if you are in those county commission districts, of course, Claire is your representative, but as we know, when you're on a school board, you not only represent that zone, but you represent all the schools, the whole system,
Absolutely.
Every kid, right?
Absolutely. And that was one of the things that I wanted to run for, because I wanted to make sure, as we are trying to tackle the enormous growth that has come on, unprecedented growth. So I need to make sure that we leave the older schools what they need as well. We can't just be so focused on the new schools. So I think we've done a good job of that. We have embarked on a very ambitious, but we're going to have to be, because we have got to tackle the growth problem. We've embarked on a building program. We kind of got stuck in the mud for 2 years with COVID, but now we are off running, and we've approved last year. We got 3 additions approved for 3 of our older schools, Smyrna, Oakland, and Riverdale. And we've added a elementary school in some property that we are pursuing, and we need that elementary school. Several of our schools in the Blackman, Stewart's Creek area, specifically Stewart's Creek Elementary, are busting at the seams. And so we're going to need all 3 additions as well as the new elementary school.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, while there wasn't any building going on during COVID during that 2 years, we still added lots of folks. Yeah.
In fact, the last 2 years, we've added over 2,000 students in the summer, and that's unprecedented. No county in Tennessee is having to face that. And but so this is more than we've ever asked from our county commission. But God love them, I appreciate it. I think they're going to help us do what we got to do, and we've got to start building, because, like you said, in the 2 years I've been on the board since 2020, we haven't built another school.
Well, and I would challenge folks to look at it like this. 2,000 in 2 years, that's 1,000 per year. And if you go by any Rutherford County elementary school, they're built to a capacity of about 1,000. So, I mean, we've added an elementary school each year. The
and
last
Stewart's
2.
Creek is over
Yeah.
1,000, and Blackman Elementary is close to that as well. So we've got to do something, and so we've also orchestrated in conjunction with this. We've orchestrated and we're waiting for it to come back, a capacity analysis from an outside entity, looking at the entire county, demographics, growth trends, everything. And we're waiting for it to come back. And basically, what these additions are going to do is some of our newer schools that have been built and high schools have been built can handle 2,500 students. But Oakland, Riverdale, Smyrna, they can't. In fact, Smyrna's sitting with 15 boardables right now. And so what these additions will do to our high schools is it will allow them to handle 2,500 students. And it is cheaper to do an addition than it is to do a new school. We are going to have to do another middle school and at least one new comprehensive high school. I would even like to do a fine arts magnet school. So there's a lot we have to do, but it starts with these 3 additions and this elementary school. And
this elementary school, you mentioned it's the Stewart's Creek and Blackman areas are really in need of another elementary school. I'm assuming that where you're pursuing is in that particular area.
We're purchasing some property on John L. Beatty Farm.
Okay.
And there's room for 2 schools, but the first one we're going to go is elementary school, and it's right where we need it to be, and that's the most important thing. It's nice when we can find land, but it's great when we can find land in the area that we need to be. And this is the first land that we've really had brought to us in the 2 years I've been there, and it's hard when you have to get in line with developers and other people. So, but
well, I know that there has been really an exhaustive search in that area to try to find some land, and the last time I think maybe at the end of December we were speaking with a school board member, and it was, is this land going to be comparable? The price was an issue as well, and so
we were able to get the price down a little bit.
Okay,
so
good.
that was we appreciate it when they're willing to negotiate it, and I'm always going to say, no matter what the price, well, is this the hard price or can we negotiate this? Because it is the taxpayers' money.
Sure.
And we want to be good stewards of their money. But by the same token, the price is the price sometimes. And we just have to bite the bullet and just go ahead. And if it's good land and it's where we need it to be, and if we've negotiated it as down as, that's where we go, and we vote as a board. And then we go to our county commission and they help us fulfill what we need to do.
Claire Maxwell, our guest, Rutherford County School Board member. Unfortunately, Claire, there's people are moving in, yes, and there's no more land in terms of we can't add more land to Rutherford County.
No, we
so
can't.
It's going to get harder and harder to find land.
It is going to get harder and harder, and we've had significant challenges in the north, but I'm not giving up. I think we can. There's something there that we can do, and so we're going to keep forging ahead because we need another comprehensive high school in that area. So
the property with the elementary school that is coming first, you said that it could be a 2-school complex.
It could be a 2-school.
Would that be a middle school or a high school, or who knows?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
We've looked at both, so I don't know yet. But it is nice when we can put more than one school there. I know for a while that they wanted to do the 3 schools, and that hasn't exactly worked out in some of their land because it is, there's rock. Just because it's good for a development doesn't mean it's good for a school.
Yeah.
And we've had some challenges with some properties that we've purchased in the past.
Well, we also know that wherever you plant a new school, let's take Rockvale High School, for instance, and the explosive growth.
Absolutely.
By year 2, unfortunately for the school board, you had to do a little bit of rezoning. The middle school needed an addition. And that's case in point, prime example of build it and they will come.
Absolutely. And another example is Plainview.
Yeah.
We just opened up, right as I was coming on the board, we opened up Plainview. And there is lots of land around that. And the last time I was out there, houses are going up in spades. So it is. You build it and they will come, which is a good thing. I'm glad people want to come to Rutherford County. It's just the numbers have been so hard for us to wrap our arms around.
And so you add that to Plainview, and then that puts stress on Christiana Middle and then Riverdale High School.
That area is hopping as well. That's early projections from the capacity analysis was the first area of concern was the the north end and some of the west there with Stewart's Creek Blackman, but they said that Christiana is growing. It has the potential because it's got land. It's far reaches part of the county are getting just as dense as the inner city is.
Well, I mean, that area is growing toward Shelbyville growing toward Murfreesboro. Eventually, those two will come together like Smyrna and Laverne and Laverne and Antioch.
Yeah, just like 840.
Yeah.
We have all these exits now that I never, veterans, all that area is just absolutely, it's not going to stop. It just doesn't I think we're immune to a lot of the things that have happened across the country and in other parts of the state. They just want to come to Rutherford County because I guess we're nice people and we offer a lot.
Yeah, that's very true. And a great school system.
Absolutely.
That's what we're talking about today with Claire Maxwell, Rutherford County School Board member from Zone 5. I want to go back to, you mentioned the additions to Riverdale, Oakland, and Smyrna high schools, and you threw out a number there that's really big. I mean, a capacity of 2,500. Yeah. That would make those three schools some of the largest in the state.
Well, yeah, it would go along with Stewart's Creek and Rockvale. I would love to keep our high schools 2,000 or less, but we just can't. And when we go to build another high school, it could be close to $100 million.
Oh yeah.
And with land being not readily available, and with those numbers, we're going to have to get bigger. And
Rockvale in 2019 was 75 to 80 million at that point?
Yes, and that was 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. The additions, I guess Oakland and Riverdale are kind of easy in terms of and a lot of people maybe went to those schools back in the day. I know I was an Oakland graduate. You had that center courtyard area that kind of was between the gymnasium and the
that's where the
CTE and
the main part of the additions are going to be. And I'll be honest with you, they're more than just additions that will allow us to have more classrooms and allow us more children. They're significant facelifts. They're beautiful. The designs are absolutely beautiful, and they're very similar. They all look kind of the same. Riverdale's has got a nice R on it. Oakland's has got an O on it, and Smyrna has got an S on it. But they're two-story as well.
Okay.
And they will connect to the annexes, and it will allow those children at Riverdale and Oakland to go to other parts of the campus without getting wet and having to go outside, which is a lot. And if you go and you're not from here and you live in another part of the county, you may not even know that that's the way Oakland and Riverdale are built.
Well, this tells you how old I am, but I was there the year, I guess 2 years. They had 1 full year of the annex at Oakland, and there weren't even the coverings on the sidewalks at that point, I don't think. And so the annex is kind of disconnected from the main classrooms and things. So you're saying that is going to tie together with this addition and bring this addition, so it would all be like under one roof, kind of.
Absolutely. It's even going to allow, if you wanted to go at perhaps Riverdale, I'm just going to use that as an example, and because Oakland's built very, very similar. I mean, almost to a T. Even to go to a pep rally in the gym, you would have to go outside. I mean, you might have a covering over you, but you're not covered, and that's going to enclose that now. So it's just going to be a really game changer for those, and carry those. They turned 50. It's an historic year. This is the year that Riverdale and Oakland turned 50 years old. I can't believe it. Proud grad of 86 of Riverdale. But it's going to carry these campuses forward another 20, 30 years. So it's, or more.
Claire, you mentioned kind of a zoning and capacity study. Do you think that is going to change our school zones in the future, and especially with these additions?
Yes, it will. We have to do this, and it's going to be shared sacrifice, because we're not zoning one area. We're zoning the entire county. Every elementary, middle school, and high school could be affected. But it's necessary, and hopefully this is the last time we ever have to do this, and going forward we will only have to rezone if you live in an area where a new school has been, and you will understand at that point why you're having to rezone. And so, but we have to do this, and I'm anxious to see what it says. I kind of think I know what it's going to say, but we have empty seats in some schools, and we need to make sure we get those seats taken. And we have too many kids at other schools. So we've got to fix that. So this is what this zoning is going to do for us, as well as prepare us for the future.
So when do you expect to have those results? When might you be looking at a rezoning?
I believe we're looking at a rezoning for 24-25. And I do believe we're supposed to have those fairly certain, like April, end of April.
Okay. Well, a lot of news about that coming up. So that won't be this upcoming school year, but the next.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good information there. And I know we've got just a few minutes left here. You wanted to share some information about what happened at the school board meeting last night. And you've got some other things.
Yes. First of all, I would like to address the tragedy in St. Louis, and I want to ask us to all please continue to pray for one of our students and her family from Smyrna High School. Janae Edmondson was at a volleyball tournament in St. Louis, and I think you've all seen that. Something that you can never imagine happened. No. And she has got some significant challenges going forward, but she has just signed a scholarship to the University of Tennessee Southern, and they're going to honor that scholarship. And
I heard that yesterday, so that's great that they are.
And but they've set up a GoFundMe for her, and last night, right after our board meeting, our chairwoman took off and went over to Smyrna. They had an event for her, and but just they're going to need us going forward, and she's one of our students and a bright star, and I just want us to all be in prayer for her and the challenges she has going forward. I also would like some good news. There was a feel-good story last night that touched us all. Dr. Sullivan had, before he was went to central offices and became head of instruction, and now he's our superintendent. He was a first principal at Rocky. That was his first job for Rocky Fork, and he met a young man. His name was Isaac Oglesby, and he just really took a liking to him. Knew he had some challenges, and Isaac came to Riverdale, and Dr. Sullivan basically said, "I want you guys to look after this young man. He's special." And he had some significant challenges at home, wasn't the greatest life at home, and academics as well were hard. But he persevered, and with the love of his Riverdale family, and Dr. Sullivan was never too far away checking on him, he has made it through, and he is such a success story. He was quite a standout defensive athlete for the football team, but he is also going to graduate, and he's going to go to college, the first in his family to ever go to college, and he signed papers to go play at Carson Newman. And there wasn't a dry eye in the house last night when he spoke about what it means to have the love and support and all the mentors at the school system for him. And so that felt good. That's why we're here, to educate those students.
I know Will Kreisky had often talked about on our coaches show about Isaac, and man, he's what a great story, and the fact that he came into a football program, was able to succeed, and you know what he got from that, and that's just another example of how extracurricular. If you're not a football player, that's fine, but there's something that a child can get involved in, and that's so important.
And that's what I'm really happy to see now that has evolved over the years. We have something for everyone, whether it be archery, bowling. It's not just the big three sports, because I wasn't a big. I love sports. Right. I love watching them, but I didn't play sports. But there is so much. There is the fine arts. There's music. There's band. There's chess. There's all kinds of things. If you want to get archery, has gotten huge. Volleyball. There's lots of ways to get involved, and everyone should be involved because high school's supposed to be fun. It's not just academics. I know that's what we're there for, but it should be fun too. I want everyone to look back and enjoy the time that they were in high school.
Claire, it's been a pleasure. I hope you'll come back in the coming months.
Absolutely, would love to. Thank you so much for having me.
Claire Maxwell joining us, Rutherford County School Board member. We have a school board member on once a month here on the program to share what's going on with our county schools, and look forward to our next conversation. Don't forget you can check the podcast at WGNSradio.com. Just look for Rutherford Issues.
Greetings, friends. This is Lenny Farmer with the Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home in Murfreesboro. If you ever had to deal with the final arrangements of a loved one, funerals are both emotional and financial. You can easily be drained both ways